So you want to lose weight, but you don't want to be like everybody else, waiting to the New Year's. And honestly, that probably was you last year where you said you were going to make a change with your health and fitness, but you ended up not. You fell for all the chaos of life, things got crazy, and you ended up falling off track. So instead of doing the same thing you did last year, you want to do something different. You want to get ahead, and 2025 is coming up. So if you want to get ahead of the curve and not be like everybody else, I'm going to give you a full guide on how to lose fat, especially if you're a busy man. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Michael Avila, and I'm the #1 fitness coach for married men. And I am on a mission to help save the world from obesity, starting by helping you build generational health and also helping other men do the same. So if that is of any interest to you, then make sure to like and subscribe for more. And as always, if you want a full guide of everything that I talk about, then let's comment the word, let's do guide, all right? Actually, let's do 2025. Comment the word 2025 below and I'll give you a full guide so you don't have to worry about anything and you'll get all the notes. So with that, let's jump into the guide. Quick interruption, you guys have been absolutely awesome so far by liking the videos and continuing to share them. So all I ask is make sure to smash the like button, and the goal is to get to 20 likes, okay? And also, that's not only going to share or tell me that this video has been valuable, but also it's going to share to other like-minded men who are committed to being their best, men who want to be their best for their wife, their family, and just live a long and awesome life feeling confident and energized. So again, smash the like button and let's get into the video. Now, this is where I want to start. Now, you want to get back in shape and lose that gut, right? But in the past, you've probably already failed. You've done a bunch of diets, you've gotten motivated, and you said, oh, I'm gonna train 5 to 6 days a week now, and then life got in the way and you got off track. So if you try to do the same thing again, you're just gonna get the same results. So you need to do something different, all right? So that also goes into the mindset of everything. If you're just training to hit your goal weight and that's pretty much it, or you keep trying to do things on your own, then you're gonna get the same result. Because if you're depending everything on motivation or trying to fit everything into your schedule because now is a better time, quote unquote, big excuse from so many guys, that's never gonna work, because the reality is you are always gonna be busy. You have work, you have your family. Those are always gonna take up your time and energy. So we wanna build something that is sustainable. Now, just on a side note, if you want different results, right, you need to, again, do something differently. I highly suggest, and I'm not saying this just because I'm a coach, get help from some sort of professional, because you being how busy you probably are missing a lot of key components. So if possible, go get help from a coach, invest into yourself, because that investment isn't about right now, it's about years from now. So really, if your body and health is worth it to you, then go invest. And overall, again, same method, same results. Different method, different results. So get out of that mindset of trying to do the same thing you've done in the past, but now you're more motivated, and start looking at the longevity. Start looking at, how can I make this sustainable? How can I build things brick by brick and not try to go from 0 to 100? Because when you go from 0 to 100, you are ultimately just gonna fail. So I hope that makes sense. Now, today I'm going to talk about 3 different pillars. Now, #1 is going to be nutrition. It's going to be the most important one, all right? That's going to be used for weight loss. Second is your exercise. What workouts are going to be best? And although there's so much information out there, what I found over my years in the health and fitness industry, and also what's helped the most for my clients who are busy men with wives, families, working long hours, etc., what's going to work best for you. And then lastly, something that you're probably missing is accountability. How can we actually create that within your own circle so that you can be as successful as possible? All right, so let's jump into #1. So the most important thing is going to be your nutrition, right? We want to use our nutrition to lose weight and have your exercise help you build muscle. So never throughout your journey do you want to think about, okay, how many calories am I burning throughout this? Now, a couple important notes to make. Number one is that we want to build something sustainable. So anytime you follow any kind of diet or change your lifestyle habits, we want to think, okay, can I do this 20, 30 years from now? And from there, that allows you to really think about, okay, if I'm going to follow some sort of diet, if I'm going to fast, can I do this 20, 30 years from now? And the reason, or what's probably going to happen, is you're going to say no. So instead, we want to think about the long term and not about the short term. Does that make sense? Now, as we get into this, a couple things that you should stick away from. You've probably tried to diet in the past, whether that's following some sort of Daniel's diet, whatever, or carnivore, etc., all those other things, right? We don't want to follow those because you probably want to be able to have pasta. You probably want to be able to eat out with your family. You probably want to be able to have pizza with your kids or your wife, right? So we want to make something that's sustainable. Second is any kind of fasting. Now, it's totally okay if you're not hungry. That happens to a lot of guys. I usually don't eat in the morning. That doesn't mean I'm intentionally intermittent fasting, because it doesn't really matter how much or when you eat, It doesn't matter the timing, anything like that. Overall, when it comes to weight loss, it's just all about the nutrition or the quantities. And then the last one is counting calories. Now, counting calories, you're not a bodybuilder or anything like that. So we want to find a method that works best for you. And that goes into what I usually use, and it's an easy hand portioning method. So I'm going to pop it up here just as an image. And that is the easiest one that you can use in order to sustainably lose weight. And also, if you want to keep it even simpler, there's a couple things that you can impart that will allow it to be super easy for you. All right, so I'm going to kind of go through some of those. So number one is just taking out all your processed foods. If you just cut out the chips, all the other things, and just start eating whole foods, you will lose weight, right? Now, on top of that, if you look at the hand portioning method that I shared, simply by sticking to 6 portions of protein and 6 portions of veggies and doing that consistently, you will lose weight throughout the process. All right? Now, next is eating the same meals. Now, this might be a little bit harsh, but you are currently overweight and out of shape. You've been eating junk throughout the past years, or quote unquote eating healthy. And even if you are eating healthier foods, you haven't been in the right portions. So in order to lose weight sustainably, consistently, we want to stick to eating the same meals over a short period of time. Let's say you commit to the next 12 weeks, 90 days. That's going to do so much better for you than anything else, because one, you're going to quickly get results, and two, you're going to build that discipline to stick to it. Now, if you're somebody that does get bored really quickly, I understand that, but we need to put your results and the goal over your own feelings. And also, there's a fun thing called seasonings. So change the seasonings throughout your food, change things up. Instead of leafy greens, choose some like peppers or anything like that. And there's easy substitutions that you can make, right? So cut out all of those excuses and just get the job done, because the faster that you get to your goal weight, the faster you can start building balance after that. That's when we can talk about that. After you've hit your goal weight, after you've gotten the results, then we can talk about pizza, pasta, etc., all those other things in a more sustainable way. Because again, although you're not really earning anything, you've let yourself go. So what's important is getting back to where we actually want you first before anything else. That is the main priority. Now, the last one is limiting eating to one meal or eating out. So this is something, obviously, we talk about balance, being able to create the right habits. One thing that you want to focus on is just eating the right, limiting eating out, because when you eat out, you have less control over what goes into your body and the portions. Anytime you go to a restaurant, they're probably using a lot of butter, they're using a lot of oil, etc., and you're not mindful of that. Also, it goes back to the consistency thing. The more consistent you can be with your food, you actually get faster results than somebody that isn't as consistent. So that's what we want to be able to choose. Now, a key note here is that we want to stay away from anything that, especially when it comes to counting calories, where you're saying, okay, as long as it fits my calories, it's okay. Well, yes, that is true. You still will lose weight. However, we want to make sure that you're getting the right portion of protein, fiber, carbohydrates, and fats. Because, again, as we're looking long term, we want to focus on making sure that your nutrition hits the long-term goal, right? And part of that is going to be building muscle, being fit, being healthy, and all of those are really important. So that's why when we stick to this, throughout you're going to stick to a 90-10 rule of whole foods versus processed, and then just follow an easy hand portioning system. Like I shared, if you really just want to start off, there's going to be that hand portioning system that I shared with 6 protein, 6 fiber, or 6 veggies. And I'm going to drop a link below in the chat that you can use to kind of calculate your own or how many portions you should have in order to consistently lose weight. Okay? So stick to that and you will crush it. So that's everything about the nutrition. Now, after nutrition, exercise is going to be the next thing you need to keep in mind. Now, when most guys think about exercise, they've gone from being sedentary and then deciding, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 5-6 days a week. Now, that's not sustainable because here's the thing, you are super busy. On top of that, you haven't built the capacity to work out that often. And even if you can, even if you're in a less busy time, we don't want to get into the habit of saying, okay, I'm going to exercise a lot now and then limit it later on. So key thing here, we want to build a foundation for your own exercise. So when we talk about getting into this, a couple things you want to stay away from. Long workouts, an hour or more. Now, if you can have that or you can do it consistently, that is totally okay. But in general, for most people, stay away from that. So anything over an hour, stuff like that, it's not going to fit. Second, bro splits. Things like push-pull legs, things like chest try, back by. Sure, it may have worked when you're in college, but you're not in college anymore or high school. And the goals for you isn't just to look good, isn't just to feel as buff as possible, right? The goals are so that you can live a long life, so that you can be active with your kids, so that you can be confident in your body. And we want to train towards those goals. And again, it's not that you can't bench press, you're not squatting. All my clients are doing all those things, the exercises, but we want to split up your workouts in a way that works for your busy lifestyle. I hope that makes sense. And then the last one we want to stay away from is just doing cardio. So if you're trying to incorporate running, etc., into where you're at, the probability isn't going to be very good because one, you're overweight, you've gained a lot, or you weigh heavier than you were. And all that extra weight is going to add force onto your body that is unnecessary. So I'm going to show you an easier way. And also, exercise should be used to building muscle because initially where you're at, you're in a prime spot where you can lose fat and build muscle at the same time. And you need to take advantage of that. So when it comes to what to do, first off, we are going to start off with a step goal. All right, shoot for 10,000 steps every single day. That's going to be easy enough. Now, if that seems a lot, then slowly work your way up. Can I get 5,000 every single week? Or get up to 6,000, etc., and keep going up. And then next is we're going to work out 2 to 3 times per week. And that goal is because you can sustain that regardless of what your schedule is. You have personal problems. Things are crazy in terms of your life with family. Something happens, life throws you a curveball and you're just knocked out. You can still work out 2 to 3 times a week for 30 minutes, regardless of what you do, right? So no excuses with that. And also keep in mind, your workouts are going to supplement your energy. They're going to help you feel better. So when you're able to consistently have that, that's only going to make other areas of your life better. So here, the last one is we want to build muscle. So again, we want to keep or have singularity of focus. Now, that's not to say that cardio is not important for you. That's not to say that all these other facets of your health and fitness, power, explosion, etc., aren't important for you. However, right now, the biggest problems is that you need to lose fat. And second, you probably need to gain muscle because over the years you've lost that. So spend, I would initially say, around, honestly, your first year of kind of getting back should have that focus on building muscle. And you can slowly bleed in a couple other forms of exercise, right? But again, we want to build that foundation so that you can be confident, have that muscle that allows you to play with your kids, stay active with your wife, and everything else. So that's how your exercise should be broken up. Again, 2 to 3 workouts per week, 30 minutes, focus on building muscle, and then really outside of that, just get steps, hit your step goal. And that's all you need for your exercise. Now here is part 3, and this is probably what you're missing the most. See, remember at the very beginning where we talked about having a different mindset, having a different method gives you different results? This is really the main difference, is accountability. And that's what you're missing. See, let's be honest. You are a disciplined individual. You are hardworking, but just not with your health and fitness. And the reason why is because you have accountability in your marriage, right? You have your wife that holds you accountable. You have accountability at work, right? Not only are you getting paid, but also your boss holds you accountable. Your coworkers hold you accountable. And that's why you're successful in those areas. But in your health and fitness, nobody is holding you accountable. That's why you need to make this shift. So instead of constantly trying to depend on your motivation, instead of trying to be me versus me lone wolf type, right? No successful individual has ever done anything just on their own. They've always had somebody cheering them on, somebody supporting them, somebody holding them accountable throughout the process. So whether it's athletes, whether it's somebody who's successful in business, somebody successful like you are, because again, I'm sure you have a great marriage, you have a great work in terms of your career, you're doing well, you're providing for your family. But again, you're missing this. So we want to get out of that old mindset of motivation and just like, I need to push myself more. And again, work smarter. So there is a big saying that I like to share, and it is standards over or versus schedule. Okay, and that is really a good explanation for all this, because you need somebody holding the standards for you even when you don't. Because the reality is there are going to be days where you don't feel like it. There are going to be days where you don't want to show up. And really, if you want the fastest path to success, again, I want to emphasize that. Fastest path to success and being able to optimize your rate or your percentage of success, then you need somebody in your corner. That's why I always advocate for having a coach. Even me, myself, as a fitness professional, I have a coach who writes my programs, who does everything else in terms of I have to do check-ins with them, because I know the power of accountability and how that allows me to focus. At the same time, having a coach in your corner, you already have so many things to think about that you shouldn't add what foods to eat, what goals to hit, what sets, reps, and exercises to in order to do, right? You should just go to the gym, get it done, have something you don't have to think, take action, and then go home. Because again, the gym is supposed to help supplement every other area of your life. So that's what we want to focus on, standards versus schedule. And that's what having a coach is really important for. So when it comes to that, if you are somebody who is open to the possibility of coaching and you want to see how that looks, then I have my own link below, all right? Shoot me over a message on Instagram. Just say there should be a keyword there on my profile, and we can see if you and I are a good fit. So that's what a coach will do for you. Now, outside of that, have a group. That's one easy way, all right? I know a lot of guys end up trying to do things on their own, but that is one of the best ways to ensure that you fail. is try to isolate yourself and handle all of this on your own. So find a group of other men. And lastly, this is really what it comes down to, because when you talk about the skill of discipline and consistency, accountability is at the basis of that, right? When you see somebody else getting results and you're kind of in the background, that pushes you. When you're with other like-minded driven men who want to be at their absolute best, that drives you. So really, if you want to be disciplined, if you want to be consistent, you need accountability, because at the end of the day, you are human and you're going to fail. You are. I share that not only as a coach, but also somebody who's done this so many times just for my own self. There are days when I absolutely mess up. Again, that's why I have a coach in my own corner to help me continue to level up. So that is everything in terms of the accountability. And again, if you found this valuable, make sure to smash that like button. The goal is to get to 20 likes, all right? 5, 10, 15, 20. And that's going to be important to share this with other men so that you can crush it and all of you can lead by example for your family.